Okay, now you can hear me. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I said all of that. Welcome to the special edition of Eagle Pass. Now you know Eagle Pass. Hit the music, all that good stuff. Sorry. Well, we haven't gotten through anything yet, but technical difficulties happen. It's okay. Or is it just human error? All right. So early voting is now. It's done. It's back. It's gone. So now we got election day coming up. It's going to be a big one, and we still got some more uh, elections coming up, or more candidates coming up. We got one more actually. So I'll bring them up in just a second. But first, before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors at this time. Orly's Barbecue, thank you so much for sponsoring this podcast and giving us a headquarters. Guys, if you want to, I'm getting the comments here. What's my wife saying? A bit louder? Maybe, what? Yeah, you're probably deaf. It's all good. There we go. I'll turn up the faders there. All right. Thank you, Orly's Barbecue, for giving us your venue as a podcast headquarters. Guys, if you want to try some smoky goodness downtown, head down to Orly's Barbecue. They got all kinds of awesome barbecue creations for you to try, like their brisket quesadilla, or hey, it's leg day on Saturdays. Again, I'm going to say it, it's not leg day for you gym jockeys. It's turkey leg days on Saturdays. So give them a call or go visit them. 290 Jefferson Street. They're also delivering on DoorDash. So if you guys want to enjoy that at home, you're more than welcome. Also, Chance and Lee's Pizza. Thank you also for letting us use your venue for the sports show, the Overtime Show, usually happening on Saturdays, but, to be determined. It's a good sports show you guys want to watch. Go down to Chance and Lee's, 1296 Del Rio Boulevard. Try out all of their awesome flavors of pizza. And, of course, well, you know what? I really love their root beer float. Oh, that's really good. And also, don't forget to try their new Chicago dog. Head on down to Chance and Lee's, and they will take good care of you. Also, they're also delivering on DoorDash, so don't forget that, guys. All right, so we are here on another edition of Now You Know Eagle Pass, politics style. All right, and of course, politics can also come into the criteria of the Eagle Pass Independent School District. Now, we did interview Edgar Juarez when he was running for place 1 against Jorge Barrera. So that's not the Barrera we're interviewing today. Actually, we have Mr. Jaime Barrera. He's running for EPISD place 6, and I believe he's running against Dr. Hector Alvarez. I hope I'm right there. He'll correct me when I bring him in right now. All right, and here we go. Hey, Jaime, what's going on, sir?
Ruben, how are you? Good
Good.
evening.
Welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much. I know this was such a surprise. There was a short notice. I know we were out there getting some courtesy interviews, and we missed you a couple times. We were able to get
Right.
your kids, though. I mean, luckily, and you did a pretty good job, pretty good,
Well,
solid job, man. I know you've been
I
out there
would hope
busy.
so. It's a family affair. So thank you for the opportunity. And I'm sorry I missed you the couple times you were out there, but we're here now. So I'm here for you guys.
Absolutely, no, absolutely, and thanks for coming on. And you know what? This is a big election, I believe, for everybody, whether it's the presidential election. Our commissioners that are running from Everett County, and of course our school board is definitely a big one. And I think people kind of take that for granted a little bit because it's always been the same people running for years. That's
Absolutely.
from what I hear.
You got
And
some
so
incumbents that have been in there 12, 16, 20 years, and you kind of get entrenched in your day to day. And one of the things I've always said is that, you can't lose touch with the people that you represent.
absolutely,
When there's problems there, and you're not addressing them, then you kind of lost focus of who you represent. And I think it's time for a change. Change is always good, and we learn from that, and we grow, and that's what we're looking forward to doing.
absolutely. And I've always had my opinions on what goes on in the school board and stuff, and everybody just says, hey, Ruben, hush up. It's not going to change. Well, this is an opportunity. And I've interviewed I believe everybody except for maybe Glenna Purcell.
Hmm.
And everybody had their take on why they're running, and it all sounds good and peachy. I did interview Edgar Juarez, and of course he touched on all the stuff that we need to change, and so that's pretty much 2 people so far besides Sandy Sassano. I know we interviewed her. But this is the sit down that we want to have with you because we know we've seen your page, and we've seen you're very opinionated. kind of
I
like
am.
myself. And that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. When you're running, you got to address the issues. I mean, otherwise, why are you running for school board? Which
Absolutely,
brings,
absolutely. When I got into this, I'm sorry, but
no, you're
when you
good, bro.
started with the whole politics and everything, I made it clear to everybody that first and foremost, I am not a politician.
Absolutely.
And I've been challenged by that by some from old school politicians in town saying that I have no place in it. But you know what? In the school, I don't think there's room for politics in the school district. I think, you should have seven people that have seven different opinions and are looking out for the best interest of everybody that works at that district. So, I told everybody I'm a father first, I'm a concerned citizen, I'm a taxpayer, and I'm somebody who is vocal about when he feels strongly about something that we can make change.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? We've kept an eye on your campaign. We kept an eye on Edgar Juarez's campaign. And you're right. Uh, when it comes to politics, I think that it shouldn't really have any place on a school board. I think people on a school board. Not that I'm dogging anybody right now, but politics should be just stayed clear away from our school district and away from our students. That's on a whole nother level. You know
Well,
what I
we've
mean?
seen a negative effect from politics in the school district, not only with the inner workings of the people that work there, but for the overall end result of our curriculum, our student, our grades. You know, we have to focus on the right things. And I don't think that our generations that are graduating are as prepared as we pretend that they are. So I think we're behind the curve curriculum wise. I think we're definitely behind the curve on special education, which is near and dear to my heart. Obviously, that was my main reason for running. But there's a lot of things, and as I've gotten involved, I've been kind of like the sounding board for all the people that can't say what they really want to say because they feel they'll be retaliated against and or removed or be demoted or X number of reasons. So, but everything that we brought to light, if you follow my page, is factual. It's factual. There's
Absolutely.
nothing that you can challenge, and these are facts that I think that people deserve to know.
Absolutely. I think we all deserve to know the facts. Obviously, it's just something it's crucial, especially when you're living in a community that's pretty driven on politics. And like I said, we'll dive right into that when it comes to the school board being such an important election.
Yes, sir.
For one, there's so much talk going on, people not being happy with what the school board is doing. There are people not liking. I mean, the school lunches, which the school lunches is crap. I think
Hmm.
I think we've already determined that when we talked the other day. But we'll dive right into the questions, and then of course we'll break the ice and we'll get rolling on that, man. So we'll
Okay,
get you a
sure.
chance to talk and put your platform out there. Address the issues. And all that good stuff. So
Awesome.
here we go. So one of the main questions I want to ask is, so Mr. Barrera, why do you want to run for school board?
I want to run for school board because I feel like I can make a positive change for first and foremost for special needs. Uh, my son, my youngest son, Jacobo, is has been in the district since he was 3 years old. He was diagnosed with autism on the autism spectrum. There are different levels of the autism spectrum, and he's very high functioning, which means given the right therapies and guidance, he can function normal in society. And we've seen it happen with other kids. And I just, my wife and I keep year after year roadblocks. I mean, there's no money for this. There's not enough therapists for this. There's not enough teachers for this. And I think every disability deserves its chance to have the right therapies. And because, of course, Down syndrome is one and autism is another one, and you can't treat them all the same.
Right.
So, I want to see special needs here treated like royalty, like they are everywhere in the state. But here they're treated like second class citizens. So I don't think that's fair and just. And it's not only for my son, it's for the over 1900 kids like him in the district.
Absolutely. I think what mental health has been an issue. I think citywide or countywide. There's
Yeah.
just really not enough services. I have my son struggles. Uh, you know, with issues. There's a
Mhm.
couple of trauma issues that he's had, and we're trying to look for all kinds of different services that that we need to provide for our our children and folks that have these illnesses or trauma, and it's just not enough. There's just not
So
enough places. So I mean, definitely, where it definitely counts is when our students is our students for
yeah.
sure. I mean,
So
our students need to be able to focus in school, and we need to get them the care they need, and our teachers are. I mean, I love our teachers. They're all excellent teachers, but they're not psychiatrists.
they're not psychiatrists and they're not superheroes. There's only so much they can do. And
Absolutely.
I've been advocating for a behavioral unit for because we have special needs kids that come home bitten, black eyed, scratches, and there's no behavioral unit. If we had them separated due to their disability, their behavioral, you know, there's certain things that we need to do. So it's kind of hard here.
Can you give us a little bit of a breakdown as to why we're short on teachers? I know that I think I've spoken to a few teachers, and
Hmm.
I know that a lot of them have told me that there's an overwhelmingly amount of kids in these classrooms for just one teacher and one teacher aide.
Okay, well,
What could be the cause for that?
personally, I feel like there's a shortage of teachers in general, and there's a shortage of teachers in general throughout the state of Texas. But here in Eagle Pass, it's worse, and I'll tell you why. Because teachers retire, teachers move, teachers. So our district is waiting until August to try to hire people instead of in June. They should start in June. So also I heard one of the incumbents mention that nobody wants to come work in Eagle Pass because it's so far geographically from another big city. And it's not that, it's that we're waiting too long. Teachers need job security. They're not
Yeah.
going to wait till August to see if they have a job. We currently have a number of teachers that travel out of town from Eagle Pass to go teach
Right.
at other cities. Why aren't they here? Why aren't we utilizing them here locally? Why are they having
Right.
to travel? Because they're not asked to get a job till August and they want that job security in June. So we created politically another teacher shortage or a greater teacher shortage here.
Wow. Um, it's so difficult because we always want to try to delve deep into like what the what as far as the school budget is concerned. Um, that now we've already heard the superintendent talk about how the EPISD is number one or highest ranking in transparency, which I talked about this with Edgar Juarez, and yes, it's true. But I guess it just depends on the type of transparency we're talking about. Yes, officially, EPISD is in the highest tier when it comes to transparency. But the kind of transparency that we want is okay. How about letting us know when a school board meeting is? I mean,
Yeah.
I have no idea when a school board meeting is, and I'm like, wow, like when did I miss this? I mean, I don't see it on
Hmm.
the EPISD YouTube or Facebook page unless I'm not looking right. But even so, there should be some sort of announcement. Hey, everybody, guess what? There's a school board meeting coming up. Y'all should come and join at this date, at this time. Um,
I've
People can have
spoken.
so many conspiracies. So do you think that maybe they don't want to? They really don't
Well,
really care for people to know.
no, I think they take advantage of the people that don't know. They take advantage of the people that don't ask the questions like you do.
Okay.
The financial rating that is they're bragging about now. I've talked to retired administrators, and they say that's a very easy ranking to get as long as you check off the right boxes and fill out the right forms and do the right reports. Uh,
Right.
we should be worried about more the academic boxes and the academic rankings. The grades have come out already for the levels of the elementary schools and everything. Their grade levels, they haven't been made public. Well, I wonder why. because every elementary school went down. Um, you know, one elementary school went from a B to a C, another one from a C to a D, and there's now one ranked with an F, and they're not very proud of that, so they're not going to put that out there. You can be transparent about the things that make you look good, but you have to be transparent also about the things that make you look bad, because that's how you learn and that's how you get better.
No, oh, I'm sorry. Hang on 1 second. Uh-oh. All right, sorry about that. My mic went off a little bit. No, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that's just really, it can be so complex. Especially when again being transparent in the budget, of course, wanting everybody to be there, and to get the knowledge and to know what's going on. And yes, everything is in there. The superintendent always puts out, well, the information is there. Oh, well, of course it's there. But, honestly, I don't even know where to look. You can go on the EPISD website and look at the budget and look at everything that's being transparent. But does anybody tell you how to do it?
No,
It's kind of hard to navigate. Like, you really need to have like a damn YouTube somebody needs to create a YouTube video on how to navigate through the damn EPISD website, because it can be a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't want to have to do that. So why not make it easier for people to have access to this information? Why not tell people about it?
that would be true transparency right there.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I've yet to hear anybody do it, and if anybody wants to get mad at me for saying that, I mean, it's just the facts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody from the school board say, "Hey, check it out. This is how you go on the EPISD website. This is how you look up the budget. This is how you look up the teacher's pay. This is how you look up the superintendent's pay. This is how you look up what the school board's voting on." You know what I
And one
mean?
thing that I learned at a young age is that people lie, but numbers don't lie. So, once you see the numbers and you put the pencil to paper, then you'll get to the bottom of everything.
Absolutely. Hey guys, you know what? I'm gonna try to check on what's going on with this echo. We're gonna take a short break. All right, and I'm gonna see. Is it still echoing on your end, Jaime?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna see what's going on with that, and we will take a short break, guys. We'll be right back. Don't go away, Jaime. I'm gonna put you backstage really quick,
No problem.
and I'm gonna find out what's going on. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. We'll be right back, guys. All right, Jaime, can you speak and see if you got an echo going on there?
Let me test it out. Still got it.
Still got the echo. Is nobody next to you or?
No,
Let
I'm
me
at the
see.
kitchen table. I'm on myself.
I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's. Let's see.
I don't know. Do I need to change my volume? No.
You know what? Let me. I think there might be a couple things I need to. Let's see. All
I'm not very
right.
techy, so.
Yeah, I know this is. This can get really dicey sometimes when we're trying to figure out because normally I know I have sound going on in here for us. Let me see. If I can probably put it towards my speakers here. Can you? Is you still hearing an echo?
Only when I speak.
That is so weird. I wonder why that's happening.
It's like a delay,
Is
half
it a
a second
delay?
delay.
Let's see. How about now?
Hear me.
Okay, I muted you for a minute. I wanted to see if that was working. Well, let me. Well, shoot. That's so odd. I'm not. I can't hear an echo on my end, but on yours, that's so strange.
Is it on the podcast? The echo?
Um, I have it on echo cancellation here. How about now? Can you anything?
Something happened there. Oh,
Is it still echoing?
yes.
Okay. Dang it. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put us back behind. Sorry, guys. We're gonna keep trying to fix these technical difficulties, and we'll be right back. Jaime, if I have to re-invite you into the room, we'll do that. I'm
Okay.
gonna try to be as quick as possible so nobody dozes off. But don't worry, guys. Hey, we'll be right back. We're gonna try to fix this up. Stay tuned, guys. All right, we'll be right back. All right, Jaime. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and re-invite you to the stream. If you want to just
Okay.
exit, and if you want to go back to the email and just rejoin, maybe that might work.
So I leave it. I press leave.
Yeah, just go ahead and leave the studio, and then I'll talk for a little bit as much as I can, and then we'll get you back in here. Right?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So just go back to the email, and then just if not, I'll resend you another one, and we'll try to get you back on here.
You got
It's
it.
echoing still. All right, man. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Jaime will be back soon. So sorry. I guess we had a little bit of tech difficulties there on his end, and we'll see if we can see what the problem is and why he's echoing. All right. Well, so one of the things that we're going to talk about here is how we're going to get Jaime Barrera back in here. All right. So hopefully he'll join us in just a second, and we'll be right back. We're going to take a short break again, and once we get him back in, we'll continue. All right, guys, don't go away. Anybody that's just joining, we have Jaime Barrera, and he's got a lot to talk about. We just got to get him back in here in just a minute. So, guys, stay put, and we'll be right back. Okay, that was fast. Let's see if you have an echo now.
This is Jaime C. Barrera.
It's still echoing. Oh my goodness! I wonder what is going on here. Wow. Okay. I think Apple is starting to piss me off a little bit. I think we had. Here, let's see.
I'm on an Android, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Oh, well, maybe. Who knows? Let's see.
Oh, do you have your laptop?
Let's check the audio here really quick. I want to make sure that we're all in stereo here. I can't really control it from your end. I don't know if it's on your end.
Hello, hello.
It's still
I'm
echoing.
there. No, I didn't hear an echo there.
You didn't hear an echo there? Are we
I didn't
good?
hear a feedback. No,
Oh, okay. Well, shoot.
I'm
I
good
guess we
there.
fixed it. All right. Okay, good. I guess I don't know what I did, but all right, let's
It worked,
continue. Sorry,
but it
guys.
worked.
Thanks for your patience. We had to try to figure out what this echo was going on. At virtual podcast, go figure. You know what I mean? So, hey, we're only human. It only happens. It
It threw
happens
me
all
off
the
a little bit.
time. Yeah, I mean, it's annoying, and that's probably why we're like losing viewers and stuff like that. So, but don't worry, sounds
Oh
good.
my bad. Sorry.
No, it's not your fault. I don't know what I did. I fixed something, but I'll have to figure it out later. But excuse me. But anyways, all right, guys, welcome back. We're here with Jaime Barrera. He's running for EPISD School Board Place 6. So far, we've talked about some of the issues regarding transparency. We talked about how it's really up to the school board. We believe that they should give us a how-to on accessing the EPISD website, and I'm gonna say it's hard as hell. I mean, I'm pretty tech savvy. I'm pretty website savvy, but when I go in there, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. So I mean, it is what it is, right? So we already talked about why you wanted to run for school board. I think one of the biggest issues that I have concerns of is that I think everybody had the concept of EPISD being a poor school district. I know that that's not the case. And I'll tell you why, because we have, I believe we have Title I funding. And the reason why we have Title I funding is because our school district is in a economically disadvantaged area. And so what that does is the state gives the school district plenty of money to be able to support for programs, for teachers, for school lunches, for stuff that people can afford, their parents can afford.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the question is, where the hell is all the money going? I mean, the only thing I can think of, and I know he probably hates me every time I mention it, but it's just the truth. Why is here's a question for you. So, and I asked Edgar Juarez the same thing, and I don't, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing anybody. It's just it's a good question. Why is our school superintendent getting paid almost $300,000 a year plus benefits and stuff? When I mean that's almost right around where a school superintendent of San Antonio is getting paid. We have all this Title I funding. We have all this, but yet our kids are eating, teriyaki meatballs or Juanita's nachos.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Well, as far as the salary is concerned, that is a decision that's been made over the last several years. I mean, when he started in 5 years ago, when was it? 2019, I believe, was the first year that he was a superintendent. It was at 196,000, and now we're over 300, I believe now. So um, I don't understand how a 5 year contract could get renewed every year after 1 year, extended another with raises. So that's the question to ask the current school board. But as far as the funding, yes, the money is coming in. I've been asking for the last 8 years, where's all the special ed funding money going? Because apparently it comes into special ed, but it's then taken out and put into the general fund to do with what they please. So that's something I found out. I fought for 8 years, and I found out 3 years ago that that's what the money that was getting taken out of special ed. So they start off with good money for these kids and the programs that they need and the teachers and therapists that they need, but it's going to the general fund and being allocated elsewhere. So it's with any good mystery, you have to follow the money and find out what's going on with it. But again, we go back to the transparency and being transparent with certain things and not being transparent with others. And but salaries are a big concern, especially at the top. We have I brought up early in my in my campaign the sender payroll program, which basically people were going to go 6 times during the year, 21 days between checks, 21 days for people that live check to check, like the lunch ladies, janitors, people that are hourly based depend on that money, and then they're going through these 21 days that during the toughest times of the year, like the holidays and Christmas and New Year's, and you know, so that was something we didn't know that we brought up in our platform, and it got a result. It got the teachers to vote on it. At least they got a response. I don't think the outcome of the vote was what we expected, but then again, who controls the voting or who controls the tabulation of the votes? So, but we got a result from it. And we're trying to get basic things that rights that teachers that employees should have, and putting it out there, because if they're too scared to fight for it, and I think I came around at a good time to start questioning these things, because part of the special ed money, I mean, the majority of the special ed money is getting moved to the general fund, and I don't think that's fair to these kids.
No, absolutely. One of the biggest things that I would definitely love to hear from my school board is that our students come first. And I know they've said that. I know that they've said that plenty of times. I know that our superintendent has said that plenty of times. Um, as a parent, I just don't feel like the students are coming first, or are coming
Mhm,
first.
mhm,
Again, and I'm always going to bring this up: school lunches, school lunches, school lunches, school lunches. When I was a
mhm.
kid, the thing you're looking forward to after putting up with your teachers, I mean, not that our teachers are bad, but I'm talking from a kid's point of view.
From a kid's point of view, yes.
From a kid's point of view, putting up for listening to our teachers and doing our homework and doing quizzes, and then it's time to have some lunch, and then you look down and it's uh I don't know. I keep referring to teriyaki meatballs because I actually saw it one
Or
time and I was just like, "What
half
the hell is that?"
frozen,
Yeah,
undercooked.
half frozen, undercooked, and what else? Juanita's nachos, you know, uh, little bean tacos sometimes we had, and I just
My
uh,
kids were fortunate enough that we had someone here working, like myself or my wife or my mother-in-law, that would always take them lunch. And I think about 70% of the kids either take a lunch or have their parents take them a lunch. And then it's not feasible for everybody. Obviously, not everybody can afford to eat out every day
right.
or pack a lunch every day. So we depend on that funding for these free meals for these kids. But you look into it, like you start seeing like it's not healthy. It's not, it's going to affect them physically. They're growing up. They need nutrients. They need uh, the right kind of nutrients, right kind of protein. You need all that, and so not everybody can take their kids lunch every day. But my question is, if someone gets taken a lunch, why are they being forced to put in their number in the cafeteria like they got a lunch, when they didn't?
Yeah, my
Again, because numbers matter, and if we don't see that we're giving the meals, so something like that needs to be addressed and either improve the meals or do something else about it.
Well, you know what? Honestly, I thought it was just like maybe in elementary school. If you can see, I'm rocking my San Luis Cardinals shirt. My son would call me, I don't like the lunch. What's going on? Or I would specifically look at the menu so I can pack him something, and then all of a sudden they change it. It's manager special, and I'm just like,
Fun.
oh crap, what is it? And then it's
Yeah,
chicken tinga tacos, and I'm not sure what that and my son doesn't know what it is, and I was just like, I don't know. Maybe you should try it. And
yeah,
the point is that at a high schooler's level,
correct.
I mean, when I was in high school, we had, we had other options. We would have Pizza Hut come and sell some pizzas, or we had a snack bar where they sold chips and hot dogs and stuff. And high school was awesome, but
Yeah.
like that's again, that's the biggest time of the day where we look forward to eat, is to hang out with the homies, trade lunch,
Hmm.
whatever, or go buy some chicken or buy some chips or hot Cheetos or whatever. Even though I'm not going with the healthy option here, but it's an option. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
And just I don't know, teriyaki
So
meatballs just
yeah,
aren't good
the
anymore.
lunches is a great point, and you're not the first person to mention that. During my campaign, I've had dozens of parents. As I knocked on doors and visited neighborhoods, that would be their main complaint because they're worried about what their kids are putting in their bodies. They want something nutritious, and they say we pay a lot of taxes, we pay our school taxes. Where is this? Why can't we get a decent meal for our kid? And
Right.
going back to the funding, it's all about allocating the funding the right way. The money's got to be used the right way. You touched on the salary superintendent. I did Region 20. I think he's number 8 or 9
That's
top
brilliant.
salary in Region 20.
E-
The difference between him and number one is only about $50,000. But the number one salary in Region 20 has a doctorate degree, and he also has a district of about 100,000 kids in comparison to ours, which is about 13,000 kids.
Right.
So
And again,
again, the
yeah.
numbers don't lie at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's nothing against. I mean, it's nothing against. We're not. It's not bash the superintendent day. You know what I mean?
No, no. I mean, this is all.
Anybody,
This,
if the lunch lady, I said this with Edgar Juarez the other day. If the lunch lady was getting paid $300,000 a year, I'd be outraged. Why?
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
$300,000 or
And you
one
got it.
specific teacher or a principal. It doesn't matter. The point is that we have all this funding for all these programs for
Hmm.
extra for more teachers. We want teachers to come and teach and um, live their dream to want to be a teacher. There's little girls and little boys out there that say, I want to be a teacher when I grow up. But then you go and whether you're getting paid or not, that's I don't know if that's the major
Well,
reason people don't want to teach, or is it it's not paid.
something. Let me tell you a reason that I ran into with one family. Again, knocking on doors, taking the time. They invite me into their living room. They say, My son is studying to be because he wants to be somebody's coach someday. He wants to be an inspiration to athletes. I said, okay, well, what kind of message are we giving these kids that, okay, go to school, get your certification, get your license, get in debt, student debt, but do things the right way. And guess what? At EPISD, we're going to give somebody else that doesn't have certification the job ahead of you, because what kind of message are we telling our kids? You do things the right way and you want to ascend. And unfortunately, we've lost teachers. We've lost good teachers who couldn't ascend professionally here. They had to go to another district to be respected and ascended in their department. So it's unfortunate, and I see it every day. I hear about it every day, and that's kind of like it hits you right in the heart because those people can be doing good for our kids here if they were treated with professional respect.
Yeah, and honestly, I think we have some of the best teachers I've ever seen in
Absolutely.
my entire life. I've spoken with a lot of teachers that teach my son. They've done a very good job. My son's a little bit of a handful, and they hung in there, and they were able to, do their thing, and they're professionals. And
Correct.
hats off to all of these teachers because it's you're taking care of what's how many students are in each class right now, or what's
The,
it?
the, the student to teacher ratio is over what it should be. Like we got used to, it's supposed to be 22, 23. I know plenty of them have 27, 28,
That's a lot.
35 in some,
I'm
35 in
sorry.
some. There was one science teacher that said, how can we have a safe lab with almost 35, 36 kids here? It was not safe to do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When I was a kid, we
So,
didn't have that. We had like maybe 15, 20 kids at the max. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And we had room. And
You
and
know,
that's astounding to hear. And I've spoke with some teachers too. And I'm not trying to expose anybody or anything like that because we don't want anybody getting in trouble or anything
no,
like
of course not. But in 2020, they had a panel get together and they voted on changing Eagle Pass from an ISD to a district of innovation. We are currently labeled as a district of innovation. If anybody doesn't know what that is, I highly recommend you Google District of Innovation Texas and see what it is because I don't think it's been beneficial at all to this district. If anything, it's been giving people, the board and the superintendent, the right to hire non-certified teachers at the secondary level, which is one of the main complaints we've had since day one. Since
that.
day one, we've had
What's the reason for that, for hiring teachers without certifications? Is it because of, you
that. And
know,
this is from my reading on District of Innovation, it's more tended to, and you can go on, the website and look for it and Google. And most of the ISDs that I saw that were districts of innovation were small community, like 1As and 2As, where it's convenient to have, you don't have enough people living there. You don't have enough people living there to teach the classes. So, say you need somebody to teach you wood shop. I mean, you don't have a wood shop teacher, but you have a Joe Diaz that's a carpenter for 35 years and making, so he can come in with an emergency certification and teach that class because he's the only one in town that knows about wood and woodworkings and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's beneficial to smaller communities. I don't think we're a 6A, which is probably the biggest you can get in the state of Texas. So I don't see how that's beneficial here. And it's up for renewal. It's a 5-year thing. They did it from 2020. It expires June 2025. So if elected and when elected, I want to go in there and really review the pros and cons of that. But I've seen more cons than pros, and we don't want to make that mistake again.
Right. So we talked about why you wanted to run. We talked about shortage of teachers. We did a nice long skit about school lunch. One of the biggest things I've been hearing lately on the street, word on the street, is that we've have certain individuals who are calling people and telling them how to vote. Have you been hearing that lately? And is that something that's been going on for a while? And how do we stop it, man?
I've never been in, this is my first time in the political arena, but I grew up in a political family, so to speak. Everybody who knows everybody, all the new politicians that came into town that were running for the first time. And you grow up seeing and you see what's happening and what's not happening. Voter intimidation, does it happen? Yes. Can you prove it? It's hard because everyone's scared. Again, nobody
Right.
wants to do anything. We've put the word out there, like if you really want to end it, you just make one phone call. There've been people that are doing it. I've been intimidated or tried to be intimidated by personally attacking me, as a candidate. But I got thick skin and I got in it for the right reason, and I'm going to see this through because I want to be the backbone that they're not allowing everybody else to have that works for the district. So I think now, I got in it for very personal reasons, but now it's turned into this bigger thing, and I feel like I could be the voice for these people that really want to say and speak their mind, and how can you ask a teacher, a janitor, a bus driver, anybody to do their job well when they have to be walking on eggshells, when they have to be looking over their shoulder? So, there's a lot of things that we need to look into, and we're looking into it slowly but surely. But intimidation, voter intimidation, it's a very real thing, whether you like to admit it or not. But you know, I still want to think that there's more good people than bad people in the world that'll go out and do the right thing. At the end of the day, when you're in that booth checking off those boxes or filling in those bubbles, it's only you and your conscience. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's you in the ballot. It's you in the
exactly.
ballot, and you can parade around a shirt that you're using to promote your candidate. Of course, not at the polling places, but
Yeah.
I always believed in supporting who you ever want to support. I mean, we. I'm sorry, my head was itching. We just saw a video from Chris Hiller, who is getting attacked by Juanita Martinez, the Democratic chair. Why the Democratic chair was involved, I have no idea. But she's like, Republican, don't vote for him. And it's just like, come on, man, like really, and that's he made a good point. Like, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are; those are your beliefs, and that's it. You should attack people for their beliefs, and it's school board. I mean, it's
Yeah, Ruben, yeah,
it's
you're touching right
nonpartisan.
on it right there.
Yeah, it's
School board.
nonpartisan. It's like,
Exactly.
give me a
Exactly.
break. Like, no,
I
don't
don't
vote
care.
for him.
You're
You voted for Trump. Don't vote for him. It's like, oh, come on, man. This is getting ridiculous. It's getting totally
yeah.
ridiculous.
So I think in the school, I mean, you're red, blue, green, yellow, independent, whatever you are. You're not voting for party. You're voting for the person. You're voting
Right.
for the person you think that can represent you the best in the seat that they're going to be sitting in, and that's why I don't think that anybody on the 7 seats there should be a team. I don't think, I mean, you should have seven different opinions, seven different ways to look at things, and then figure out which one works best. And I'll be the first to admit when someone else has a better idea, or my thing's not right, or his stuff's right. That's how you really work together, not by always being a team and deciding unanimously on everything. You have to be able to challenge and push the envelope to do the right thing for these people.
I'm going to go on to the next question here. So I think this is a good one. If you do get elected, and let's just say they're still the same board is reelected, whether it's Mr. Hiller, whether it's Ms. Purcell, Mr. Barrera, how do you plan to work together with them? Is it, when you get, if you're the, let's just say you're the only one elected and it's not a clean slate, how do you plan to work with them
Well,
and cope with that environment?
I mean, if I'm the only challenger that gets in, hopefully not. But if I'm the only challenger that gets in, and we're dealing with all the incumbents, they got to know that. I mean, this I'm fighting for what I believe in, and I'll fight for what you believe in. You just got to prove to me that it's just as good a reason, and I'll fight for what you believe in. I know how to work with people. I've worked with people my whole life. My job has been working people, serving the community of Eagle Pass. I mean, we have a private business in Eagle Pass that's 98. It's in its 98th year of existence right now. That doesn't happen by accident. You got to know how to treat people, and I know how to work with people. I know how to get things done. I you know I that's just how I think of myself, and I'd rather get out of the end with the people and lose than work for me only. My ego is out the door. I'm here for you guys. That's what you put me here for, and that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely good to know. And just to reiterate for everybody, I know I try to bring a platform that's unbiased, but I'm speaking as a parent. You know what I mean? I'm
Sure.
talking as a parent that's concerned for the future of my son whenever he graduates and goes to Memorial, and then he graduates and goes to CC Win. It's concerning. It's like I said, it's not to bash the board or to bash the superintendent, even though I've taken my swipes at the superintendent so many times, and I'm just like, all right, let's just tone it down a little bit. But I mean, it's true. Like I said, if it was, again, if it was a certain principal getting paid $300,000 a year while everyone's eating Juanita's nachos and chicken and huertos, which, I mean, we can all make that at home. probably
Correct.
probably better. um that's a problem, and
Yeah.
I think if I was a superintendent, I would definitely take a pay cut if I really care about the
Mhm.
students. You know
Mhm.
what? That's $300,000 a year. That's a lot of money. I think
Mhm.
that'd be your way of giving. But who knows? Everyone's different, and it's
Correct.
not just his. It's not just him. I mean, who votes to pay the superintendent? The school board.
Yeah.
So I
Super.
mean, it's not all his fault. So I mean, it's just the way it is. So hopefully that, yeah, whatever happens, whether the current school board gets reelected or we get new board members, something's got to change. Something's
The main thing to remember, whether it's the incumbents that get in or the new guys that get in, or a mix of both, they got to remember that they are the bosses. The superintendent works for the board, not the other way around.
right.
And they gotta see that every decision and everything that they do is gonna have a ripple effect. I mean, you're affecting people's lives. You're affecting their livelihood. You're affecting their jobs. There's been massive changes and massive switchings of positions and stuff like that, which is really affecting people. And that's what's caused a negative impact on the employees of the district. That's been probably the first and foremost, the main complaint is that all these changes that are being made. And, like I said, I was the first one to say change is good, right? But some changes can be very, very affect the employees negatively. Not only financially, it'll affect them, mentally, it'll affect their morale, you know, uh, I have a lot of people to, what about the teacher morale? They're not worried. And like I said, we want to inspire the people that are supposed to inspire our children. If they're not happy in their day to day, that can even have a negative effect on the day to day of our kids. So it's a ripple effect. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you study it and you look at it and you see the way it's affected educators, I think it's been negative. So we want to go in there and kind of like right the ship a little bit and let's go forward.
Absolutely. We'll have a couple more questions before we wrap up. And we want to
Okay.
thank everybody for joining. Looks like we have a lot of active, 20 active, active listeners or active, viewers is a lot. We've got that's a lot. So thank you guys for so much for joining us. And we're talking with Jaime Barrera. He's running for EPISD School Board Place 6. And we pretty much touched up on school lunch. We touched up on salaries. We touched up on teacher shortages. What you're going to do to contribute to the school board, how you're going to work with the school board. Two couple quick questions, and then we'll wrap. One of the main questions I'd like to ask is: so, what's your take on what happened with the vacant position that the late Lupita Fuentes, God rest her soul, was in, and what do you think is the reason why they just didn't put the position up for election?
Well, anybody that you ask, I was one of the people, one of the persons that approached the board to consider my name to fill that seat before I decided to run. And they all responded with the same thing. Well, most of them responded with the same thing, that they would throw my name into the hat, so to speak. But that there was 14 interested people. So I made the suggestion: well, there's that many people, maybe you want to put it on the ballot this coming November, so that would be the more democratic thing to do. That way, no one says you pick so and so over so and so, or things like that. But then I went into the website again, and you said it's hard to maneuver, but I found the law. And it says they have 180 days from the day of death, and which is what they were saying. But that lawsuit caught me by surprise, and the Secretary of State had another ruling, and then of course they said, no, it was supposed to be done a certain way. So my ruling on that is that now the superintendent, and you see on my page, he had whether it was a slip of the tongue or what it was. He said, "When I see the ruling, I will decide." And I said, "Wait a minute." I had to put that out there because I said, "Wait, you're not the one to decide, brother." You know.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
when you have that mentality that you are the almighty, something's wrong, and that lawsuit is now going to cost the taxpayers anywhere between 80 and $120,000 just to have the election for one seat,
good
which could
God.
have gone in the general election right now. You know, and if they do decide to appeal it, that's another $30 to $50,000 for the appeal before.
Ugh,
So that's a lot of money. That, again, we go back to transparency. How did I find that out? Well, I saw what an election costs. Like right now, the $120,000 are being split by the school district, by the hospital board, and by the county, because there's three entities in the race, so they're splitting the bill. But now because you try to circumvent the law and put people there, and someone called them out on it, and kudos to Ms. Queta Diaz for doing the vigilante justice kind of thing. But you know, she did her homework. I got to give her credit. She did her homework. She talked to the right people, and the judge saw in her favor. The law is blind justice, so to
yeah,
speak.
that's a lot.
So I just say, like, now, when you try to circumvent the law for things like that, it's going to cost a lot of money now, and no one's making an issue about it. And I think, we need to address that. And of course, the current board hasn't said anything about it. You know, there was an issue with past with other issues that you have to be able to speak up and say, hey, this is happening. I don't think it's right. We're going to look into it. I'll feel better about you as a school board trustee because at least I know you're trying to do something. But
Right.
when you stay quiet, it's like kind of raises a red flag. And well, as
Contributing
you
to.
heard from me, I'm not one to stay quiet. So
Well, no, we definitely appreciate that, and of course, you can't blame people for staying quiet. I mean, even though if you stay quiet, you're kind of contributing to what's going on, but
correct.
you can't really blame them because, this is people's livelihoods, who work for the school district. And, Eagle Pass economy is already, as sucks. Yeah. So
Yeah,
like you're either working for the EPISD, you're either working for AGB, or you're either working in the oil fields, and
or the government, or the
or,
government.
or for the government. Yeah, like like myself. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not a lot of options. Where a lot of the majority of border towns are economically disadvantaged, and again, that's what gives our schools the money that we need to be able to
Because
provide. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's just to put into perspective, the school district has a budget of $180 million.
Oh,
Okay, that's 3.5 times the city budget. That's about 6 times the county budget.
good
So,
God.
just to give you a perspective of what we're dealing with here, so
Yeah.
you know, it employs a lot of people. It needs to take care of those people, and of course, at the end of the day, we're just trying to do the best for our kids and the teachers and everybody that works for the district. So
All
that's
right.
what we're trying to do.
Awesome. So we covered a lot, and I hope that this was enough to be able to. I mean, I'm sure you have more to talk about. I know we're almost reaching an hour. So we did talk about why you wanted to run for school board. We talked about how you're not a politician, and actually, it shouldn't take a politician to be on the school board member. It could be a dad or a coach or somebody, a Joe Schmo, somebody who's adamant about helping their students and contributing to their community. Again, that's not a shot at our current board. But again,
Not at all.
you've been attacked for not being a politician, and so that. But I mean, look at Donald Trump. He's not a politician. And sorry to bring Trump out there for you Democrats who are watching. It's so. But we talked about school lunches, how we can improve. We talked about the budget. We talked about transparency. Yes, EPISD is transparent when it comes to to being transparent towards the state. But is it being transparent towards the parents? I don't think so. And we covered that. And of course, we talked about how you're going to work with the school board. You seem pretty adamant. You're not there to go be destructive and just put a wrench in everything. You're going there to do the best you can to help.
Correct.
And so the last questions of the night: why should we vote for Jaime C. Barrera and not Dr. Hector Alvarez, who's been here for forever?
Dr. Alvarez, nothing against him. This is probably the second time that I say his name in my whole campaign. Like I said to anybody when I first, the first thing people ask you, well, who you running against? Like it's a personal thing. It's not a personal thing. I have nothing but respect for the man. I respect his family. They're a good family. He's my brother's age. They went to school together. We've known him a long, long time. I'm not fighting the man. I'm fighting for the chair. I think that I can do and I can represent the school district in a very positive way if given the opportunity. And that's what I'm fighting for. I'm fighting to be the representative of everybody that works at the district, just like the hundreds of calls that I've gotten during my campaign from everyone from bus drivers to maintenance workers to teachers to coaches. I've been a sounding board for them, and that's who I want to represent. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a dad, I'm a concerned citizen, I'm a taxpayer, and I believe in doing what's right. And I believe in doing what's right, and I will not turn a blind eye to something that's going to be maybe wrong or beneficial for somebody that's not for another. It's at the end of the day, it's black or white. There's no gray in the middle for me. But we will work to get to that decision, whether it's black or white. And I can be convinced otherwise. Just ask my wife.
Hey, that's those are the people to ask. We can have as many connections as we want, but hey, in the end, our wives or our spouses, girlfriends, our
I
supporters
mean,
are
my
the
family, my wife, they've been the backbone through all this. They've given me the gall to see it through. They've given me the push. I couldn't have asked for a better support group, and hopefully, at the end of the day, will be the difference.
awesome, man. That's great. I mean, family is important. Family is your main support. Like I said, you can have as many connections as you got, or be the most popular person in town. But the one reference you want to go by is your family, and that's most important.
Correct.
Jaime, thank you so much for coming on the platform. We really appreciate it. And guys, I cordially invite anybody to come on the platform, whether it's I invite the superintendent, whatever. If you, no matter what I've said, I'm willing to give everybody a platform to speak and give everybody a safe platform to speak on Now You Know
Thank
Eagle Pass.
you.
podcast. And Jaime, thank you so much for joining us. Before we wrap up, though, we do have some comments I want to, and we'll get your take on it really quick before we leave. So, I got this comment. That's my wife right there. Chicken.
Good thing.
All right, well, we're gonna skip that one. All right, you need to calm down there wherever you're at. Okay. All right. So Charlie Ramos says we need better lunches and breakfast. Our teachers shouldn't have to pay $5 for a meal and get served like a student and with milk. Is that would the teachers have their own cafeteria, or were they?
I'm
They
not.
all.
I'm not sure about that. That's something I'll have to look into. I didn't even know that.
Oh, 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 that's good. We'll have to ask somebody else that question. All right.
Yeah.
Sonia Tavar says, great platform and ideas, Jaime. At the end, it's all about communication, respect for each other, and agreeing to disagree, all with end result to benefit the children and instilling a healthy work environment.
Correct.
Thank you, Sonia, for that awesome comment. She also says, best of luck. Look, you got all kinds of support coming on. That's great.
Thank you.
We got Vicky Herrera with the clapping
Thank
emojis.
you.
Here's one I want to put up here, and I want to see what I really want your take on it. I saw it, so I'm gonna put it up here. Marissa says it's important that teachers are also held accountable for how they teach. There are too many teachers that don't challenge students that don't teach, but just fly under the radar. My children's school held their teachers accountable and have merit raises. Every quarter, the students take a state test to see their progress. Based on those scores, that determines if the teachers have taught well and also determines merit raises. What's your take on that?
Well, going to the merit raises, I mean, I think performance based raises are kind of the same as merit raises. The better the teacher, the better they should get paid. The more tenured the teacher, the more experience, not just by getting by doing the bare minimum. It's like any other job. Performance is everything. Like I said earlier, we've lost some good teachers that were producing some of the top grades in the testing at the end of the year in the EOC test and all that. And now they had to go somewhere else because this one teacher literally told me she had some of her students come back and ascend to higher positions above her, and she taught them, so, you know, but yes, merit raises. I think, if you have to be bilingual certified, you should be stipend for that. You should be paid for that. I think it's at such elementary level. There's a lot of things and inadequacies and inequalities in the pay, but yes, definitely. And it all goes back to also teacher morale. Teacher morale, when you said they just get by doing the bare minimum because they're just there for the check. So we
Right.
need to instill that motivation in them, remind them why they got into the profession in the first place, which is a thankless profession. To all the teachers out there, I could never do your job. I would
No,
never try to do your job.
no,
It's a
no.
thankless profession, and I think you should have the best people backing you up for that. So that's my
Absolutely.
take on that.
Absolutely. And I love it when I go to my teachers and I tell them, hey, look, can I come in and learn like math? Because I don't know the math today. Like, they're like, what? Like, no, yeah, I can't. It sucks because I can't help my kid with his homework because I don't know today's math
Mhm.
on. So I'll say, hey, if I have to sit in those little chairs and desks to learn after school or whatever, I'll do it, and I
More
get.
power to you, brother.
Yeah. And I support, of course, big shout out to all the teachers out there, man. You guys rock. Thank you guys so much for what you do. We appreciate you. We love you. Keep doing what you're doing and hang in there. We got your back. And
Absolutely.
and obviously we have Mr. Barrera here who has your back as well. I'm not saying that nobody, all the other school board members don't have your back, but obviously he answered some of the questions there. So you can probably depend on this guy to get the job done if he gets elected. Just that we have a couple more comments. You got a lot of support here. Hashtag Team Jaime Barrera. And that's about it, man. Again, thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the platform. Any last words you want to say before we take off?
It's just an honor and pleasure. I want to invite the whole community. If you haven't voted, please give time in your day. Tuesday, 7 to 7, the polls will be open. We have we got close to 11,000 votes in early voting. We have over 25,000 registered voters that have yet to vote in this county. There's power in numbers. There's so much money, federal and state, that could also be given to this region. to our representatives if you show the interest in your election. So come out and vote. It's beneficial to everybody. And we'll be out at the polls waiting for you, 7 to 7. And God willing, we'll see you at the finish line.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you again, Mr. Barrera, for hopping on, and don't go away. We'll talk to you a little bit after we go off live. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. This is Now You Know Eagle Pass podcast, guys, a safe platform for everybody, any candidate who wants to come on and join. We'll try to be as unbiased as possible. And again, this podcast is sponsored by Orly's Barbecue. Guys, check out their place downtown. Check out Chance and Lee's on Del Rio Boulevard. All kinds of good stuff. Hey, don't forget to try those Chicago dogs. All right. Again, guys, for Jaime Barrera, I'm Ruben Camarillo. Hey, guys, remember, stay cool, stay strong, rock on. Remember, this community is only stronger together. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.